friends, today we will learn about extrachromosomal inheritance. Inheritance of mitochondrial and chloroplast genes. Let's know about the points. The extrachromosomal inheritance is defined as non-Mendelian inheritance, usually involving DNA in replicating cytoplasmic organelles such as mitochondria and chloroplast. The inheritance of mitochondrial and chloroplast genes differs from that of nuclear genes in showing vegetative segregation, uniparental inheritance, intracellular selection, and reduced recombination. The rate and pattern of vegetative segregation depend partly on the numbers of genomes and of organelles per cell, but more importantly on the extent to which genomes are shared between organelles, their distribution in the cell, the variance in number of replications per molecule, and the variance in numerical and genotypic partitioning of organelles and genomes. This kind of autonomy, as observed in the inheritance of mitochondria and chloroplast genes, has promoted many investigators, including Margulis, to propose that mitochondria and chloroplast genes has promoted many investigators, including Margulis, to propose that mitochondria and chloroplast were once free living bacteria and free living algae respectively. Over long periods of time, they established a hereditary symbiosis with their eukaryote cells and ultimately evolved into organelles within animal and plant cells. In humans, more than 80 proteins participate directly in oxidative phosphorylation, in which 13 are encoded by mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA. The mitochondrial DNA make up only a small portion of the total cellular DNA, less than 1% in somatic cell of higher animals. This mtDNA usually exists as relatively small circular molecules. The mtDNAs are usually present in multi-purpose copies. Similarly, chloroplast plays crucial roles in sustenance of plant cells. They contain a pigment called chlorophyll that is essential for photosynthesis. Chloroplast contains within it is within it the synthesizing machinery for chlorophyll production such as specific DNA, tRNA and ribosomes. They are capable of protein synthesis in the presence of either ATPs or light. In nearly all eukaryotes, at least some individual mitochondrial and chloroplast genes from only one parent. There is no single mechanism of uniparental inheritance. Organelle gene inheritance is blocked by a variety of mechanisms and at different stages of reproduction in different species. Frequent changes in the pattern of organelle gene inheritance during evolution suggest that it is subject to varying selective pressures. Organelle gene often fail to recombine even when inherited biparentally. Consequently, their inheritance is asexual. It is generally believed that animal mitochondrial DNA, is inherited exclusively from the mother. All mitochondria and therefore the DNA within the mitochondria descend from the small number of mitochondria present in the original egg cell at the time of that person's conception. The sperm contributes very few mitochondria to the child. However, it was recently shown in a patient with mitochondrial myopathy that the pathogenic mitochondrial DNA was of paternal origin. Evidence for the occasional paternal transmission of mitochondrial DNA has also been reported in sheep, mice, cattle, mussels, and insects. A scientist named Carl Correns in 8 provided the earliest example of inheritance linked to chloroplast transmission in his studies on the 4 o'clock plants. Mirabilis jalapa. This plant has three types of branches: green, white, and variegated. He observed that the seeds derived from the branch containing ovule determines the color of progeny plants regardless of the pollen sources. Correns concluded that the inheritance was transmitted through the cytoplasm of the maternal parent because the pollen, which contributes little or no cytoplasm to the zygote, had no influence on phenotypes of the progeny. The leaf color is dependent on the chloroplast. Since the chloroplast of maternal ooplasm are the major contributors of all the future chloroplasts, therefore, the color of progeny plants appear accordingly. However, similarly to animal mitochondrial DNA, the inheritance of chloroplast DNA has also been demonstrated to show variation from maternal inheritance. Now, let's know about maternal inheritance. Maternal inheritance is a kind of inheritance which does not follow Mendelian pattern of inheritance. Earlier, the heredity pattern of mitochondria and chloroplast were termed maternal inheritance, but now they are more appropriately called organelle heredity. Many diseases in humans related to mitochondria demonstrates maternal inheritance. First is myoclonic epilepsy and ragged red fiber disease MERRF. In this, only the offsprings of affected mothers inherit the disease, while offsprings of affected father are normal. Affected individuals show epileptic seizures, dementia, and deafness. Second disease is Leber hereditary optic neuropathy LHON. This disorder is characterized by sudden bilateral blindness. 4 mutations have been identified which affect the mitochondrial gene disrupting normal oxidative phosphorylation. This mutation is transmitted maternally to all offsprings. Now come to third disease, Kearns-Sayre syndrome KSS. This affected individuals lost their vision, experience hear loss, and heart malfunction occurs. Mutations have been identified within mitochondrial DNA. It is also maternal inherited. In maize, wheat, sugar beet, onion, and in some other crop plants, fertility is controlled at least partially by cytoplasmic factors. In other plants, however, male sterility is controlled entirely by nuclear genes. Rhodes had observed that male sterility in maize. It is inherited from generation after generation through the egg cytoplasm. This is also an example of maternal inheritance. A related concept to maternal inheritance is the maternal effect. Maternal effect or maternal influence refers to determination of some traits in progeny according to its maternal genotype rather than its own. This effect is the result of the translation of the existing mRNAs or transcription and translation of genetic information of female gamete present in the egg cytoplasm. This phenomenon contrasts the biparental inheritance. An excellent example of maternal effect is the cell coiling in the snail Limni perigra. These snails are hermaphrodites and can undergo either cross-fertilization or self-fertilization. Some strains of this species are left-handed or sinistrally coiled cell, while others have right-handed or dextrally coiled cell. Maternal parents that are DD or capital D or capital D small d produce only dextrally coiled snails, while maternal parents that are small d produce only sinistrally coiled snails. Now let's know about microbial genetics. Mutation is any hereditary change in the genetic makeup of an individual other than that which may be caused by the simple recombination of genes. These include changes in the gene structure or composition, that the changes in the chromosomes either in structure or in number. More frequently, the term mutations is used for gene mutations only. The term of mutations was introduced by the scientist named Hugo de Vries, one of those three scientists who independently rediscovered Mendel's law of inheritance. Now come to somatic and germinal mutations. Somatic mutations occur in the somatic cells. It produces a local phenotypic change in the organ. The descendant of that particular cell show the particular mutation. Somatic mutations are non-heritable and die with the death of the organism. However, in plants, the mutation can be passed on to the progeny by vegetative reproduction by budding and grafting. Now come to germinal mutation. Germinal mutations occur in the germ cells or gametes. These are heritable and are expressed in the next generation and are established in the populations. Mutable, let's know about mutable and mutator genes. Although each gene is a potential site for mutation, yet some genes mutate more frequently than others. Such genes are called mutable genes. These are widely spread in plants and animals. These are mainly structure genes which on mutation produce a changes phenotype. Now come to reverse mutations. Most notable events consist of a change from normal or wild type to a new genotype. Such mutation events are called forward mutations, while if the same mutation genotype changes back to the wild type, it is back or reverse mutation. Reverse mutations are easy to be identified in microorganisms, especially the nutritional reverse mutation. The occurrence of reverse mutations usually help in distinguishing the point mutations from large mutations effects. Point mutations caused by base substitution without a significant loss or gain of genetic material are more easily reversible than the mutation caused by the deletion or duplication. Unaffected by the presence of other alleles in heterozygotes. This has been supported by considerable evidence for many genes, but brings seriously questioned this assumption for a particular locus in corn. The locus capital R in corn bears a number of alleles concerned with the formation of an thiocyanin pigment. These are capital R, smaller, capital R to the power smaller. It is for self color. Capital R ST. This is for stippled effect. Capital R MB. It is for marbled effect. Normally, capital R smaller gene in single dosage produces dark molting and 2 or 3 produce full color. But when capital R smaller alleles from localities outside the Andes mountains are re-extracted from heterozygous condition with capital R ST or capital R MB alleles from other localities, capital R smaller produces considerable lighter pigment than before. Since this change in capital R smaller is heritable, Brink has described this effect as paramutation, and capital R ST and capital R MB are paramutagenic. Other plants like Oenothera, tomato, fern, etc. also exhibit permutations. No doubt permutations are rare, but these provide an explanation for some exceptional results. Now come to detection of mutations. CIB method in Drosophila. First is CIB method of Drosophila. CIB method for detection of X-linked mutations in Drosophila was devised by the scientist named Muller. And first point Muller explained is capital B, that is designates a sex-linked dominant mutation producing bar-shaped eyes. It is used as marker for flies. Capital I stands for a recessive lethal mutant present on X chromosome. Female Drosophila homozygous for this gene. Capital I divided by capital I, and male hemizygous are non-viable. Capital C represent a long inversion that prevents crossing over within the inverted segment. Gene 1 and capital B are located in this inverted segment. Muller made a cross between heterozygous CIB female and an irradiated by X-rays in X chromosome of irradiated male. Muller, next point is Muller 5 method in Drosophila. The CIB method has largely been surprised by the Muller 5 method for detecting lethals in X chromosome. The genes for apricot eye and bar eye are used as genetic markers. Gene capital WA, apricot eye color, that is a recessive mutant of the red color. Capital B, bar eye character, that means a dominant mutant of the normal eye. These genes are located on the X chromosome, which has a long inversion on the area of these two genes. The inversion eliminates crossing over in this area. The homozygous apricot bar-eyed female WACB is mated to a wild male that has been irradiated to induce mutations. The X1 females have two X chromosome, one with WACB genes received from mother and an irradiated X chromosome from father having WCB genes. In X2 generation, 50% of the males will receive X chromosome with WACB genes and other 50% of the irradiated X chromosome. If lethal is induced in X chromosome of male parent Drosophila, then the 50% irradiated males of X2 generation will not survive. The 50% males with WACB will be apricot bar. It means in X2 offsprings, females and males are produced in 2:1 ratio. Of the males, only 50% survive and are apricot bar, while 50% do not survive, and apricot bar while 50% do not survive because the irradiated X chromosome has lethal mutation. Detection of mutations in microorganisms. Let's know about detection of mutations in microorganisms. In 1946, two scientists named Biddle and Tatum detected nutritional mutants in the bread mold Neurospora crassa. The growth in a particular culture medium indicates that the strain lacked the particular amino acids and acids or vitamin which is added to the culture medium. Since these mutations include very limited segment of DNA, these are called point mutations. The point mutations may be of two types. One is substitution mutations and another is frameshift mutations. Let's know about substitution mutation. Substitution mutation is again divided into two types. One is transition, another is transversion. Then transition again divided into four types. One is tautomerization, ionization, then third is base analogues, and fourth is deamination. And in transversion, what happens? Two types of mutations is seen. One is alkylating agents with the help of alkylating agents, and second is depurination. And in frame shift mutation, two types of mutations is seen. One is deletion mutations and another is insertion mutation. Let's know about in brief. Substitution mutations. In a substitution mutation, a nitrogenous base of a triple codon of DNA is replaced by another nitrogen base or some derivative of the nitrogen base, changing the codon. The altered codon may code for different amino acids and may result in the formation of a protein molecular with a single amino acid substitution whose effect may be seen in altered phenotype. The substitution mutations may be of two types. One is transition. Let's know about transition. Another is transversion. First is transition. Transitions are changes that involve replacement of one purine in a polynucleotide chain by another purine, and correspondingly in the complementary chain the replacement of one pyrimidine by another pyridine. The transitional substitutions can be introduced by any of the following ways during DNA replication or otherwise. One is tautomerization. First is tautomerization. In a normal molecule of DNA, the purine adenine is linked. Adenine means A, capital A, is linked into the pyridine thymine by two bonds, while the purine, that is guanine is linked to pyrimidine cytosine. However, all these four nitrogenous bases rarely exist in alternative states. These states are called tautomers and are formed by the arrangement in the distribution of hydrogen atoms, tautomeric strips. Due to tautomerization, the amino NH2 group of cytosine and adenine is converted into imino group, and likewise keto group of thymine and guanine is converted to enol group, OH group. In its rare or tautomeric state, a nitrogenous base cannot pair to its normal partner. Rather, a tautomeric purine adenine pairs with the normal cytosine and tautomeric guanine with thymine. Similarly, tautomeric thymine pairs with normal guanine and cytosine with adenine. Thymine pairs with normal guanine and cytosine pairs with adenine. Such pairs of nitrogenous bases are known as forbidden base pairs or unusual base pairs. The rare bases can introduce mutations during DNA replication. Let's know about second type of transition is ionization. Transitions may be introduced by ionization by a base at the time of DNA replication. Ionization involves the loss of the hydrogen from number 1 nitrogen of a nitrogenous base. For example, in its ionized state, thymine pair with normal guanine and ionized guanine links with normal thymine. Now come to base analogues. Certain chemical compounds have molecular structure similar to the nitrogenous base present in DNA nucleotides. These are called base analogues. These are usually derivatives of nitrogenous bases of DNA and occur as a natural as well as artificial base analogues. Some of the natural base analogues are 5-methyl cytosine. It is seen in wheat and grasses, and 5-hydroxymethyl cytosine and 5-glycosyl hydroxymethyl cytosine. It is seen in E. coli. 5-hydroxymethyl uracil. It is seen in certain viruses, and 6-methylpurine it is seen in some bacteria. The artificial base analog are 5-boro-uracil, 5-iodo, 2-bromo, 5 and 5-methyl cytosine. The former two are base analogs of thymine and latter those of cytosine. 5-bromo-uracil. 5-bromo-uracil is a structural analog of thymine. Its chemical structure is very much like that of thymine. If bacterial cells grow in a medium containing 5-Bu, it is incorporated into newly replicated chain of DNA in place of thymine. 5-Bu, that is bromouracil, can also be found in two tautomeric forms. Now let's know about aminopurine. Aminopurine is a chemical artificial base analog of adenine. It can substitute adenine as well as can pair with cytosine. Now come to deamination. Deamination. Certain chemical substances like nitrous acid, HNO2, hydroxylamine, diethyl sulfate, DES, ethyl methane sulfonate, EMS, ethyl ethane sulfonate, EES, nitrosoguanidine, NTG, and nitrosomethylurea, NMU. Change the base sequence in DNA by a series of chemical steps. Some of them, like nitrous acid and hydroxylamine, cause deamination of nitrogenous bases by replacing amino group NH2 by hydroxyl group OH. The deamination of cytosine bases by replacing amino group by hydroxyl group. The deamination of cytosine leads to the formation of uracil. Deamination of adenine forms hypoxanthine and of guanine form xanthine. Hypoxanthine exhibits bonding similarity with guanine. At the time of DNA replication, uracil pair with adenine and hypoxanthine pairs with cytosine. This leads to the substitution of A double bond T and G double bond C and A double bond T. Now come to transversion. Transversions. Certain alkylating agents like ethyl methane sulfate EMS and methyl methane sulfate MMS introduce substitution by two ways. First is by substituting a purine for pyrimidine for a pyrimidine transition. This is transition. And second point is by substituting a purine for a pyrimidine for a pyrimidine purine transversion, that is changes A double bond T to C double bond G. For causing transversions, these chemicals alkylate the purine nitrogenous bases in the nitrogen at the 7th position in the guanine and adenine and finally to its separation from the DNA strand. This is known as depurination. The removal of a purine from the strand of DNA leaves a gap at that point. At the time of replication, any of four bases can possibly get inserted at this place in the complementary strand. If the nucleotide contained a pyrimidine, it is transition, and if purine, then it transversion. In next cycle, the DNA synthesis, a DNA molecule is formed which contain the complete transversion. The transversions are non-irreversible. Now come to frameshift mutation. Let's know about frameshift mutation. The mutations caused by the addition or deletion of nitrogenous bases in the DNA or mRNA are known as frameshift mutations. Because this shifts the reading frame of codons from the site of change onward. On deletion may be neutralized by one addition or vice versa, provided they occur at the same place or very close to each other. 3 deletions or 3 additions may disturb only a few frames. Now let's know about types of frameshift mutations. There are two types of frameshift mutation. One is deletion second is insertion. Now let's know about deletion mutation. These mutations are caused due to the loss or deletion of one or more nucleotides. Next, second point is insertion mutation. These mutations are caused by the addition of one or more extra nucleotides in a DNA molecule at one or more places. Now let's know about mechanism of origin of frameshift mutations. Acridine dyes have been found to cause deletion or insertion of a single base pair. Acridines like 5 aminocridine and proflavin become intercalated between two adjacent purines and thus increase the distance between them from 3.4 angstrom to 6.8 angstrom. At the time of DNA replication, either a nitrogenous base pair is introduced in the gap or a nitrogenous base pair is lost. Frameshift mutations caused by the deletion are also introduced by the removal of ethylated bases. Now come to biological significance of point mutations. All point mutations are not lethal. Transition and transversions are relatively begin because these cause replacement of only one amino acid in the peptide chain coded, which might not produce any significant change, since mutations are known as silent mutations. However, frameshift, that means insertion and deletion mutation, cause all the DNA beyond the point of mutation to be misread. Such mutations are often lethal. If the deletion segment includes nucleotides in the 3 or multiple of 3, there is nor frameshift error beyond the site of mutation, but protein produced may be defective. Now come to mutagens. These are mutagens are of two main classes. One is radiation, second is chemical agents. Radiation. Let's know about radiation. All forms of energy radiations that are capable of disrupting the chemical structure of chromosomes have been found to be mutagenic in almost all the organisms. These may be natural radiations arising from the cosmic rays and radioactive elements, or the man-made radiations produced from X-ray machines and other technological advances in nuclear energy studies. These include ultraviolet rays, X-rays, gamma rays and beta rays. Now come to natural radiations. The natural radiations that come from the cosmic rays of the sun are the main sources of spontaneous mutations. These occur in the small amount in our environment and are known as background radiations. The exposure to radiation increases from sea level upward. By an increase of 10,000 feet, the radiation exposure becomes 3 times the amount found at sea level. Let's know about biological effects of radiations. Effect of ionizing radiations. Let's know about effect of ionizing radiations. The ionizing radiations include X-rays, gamma rays, alpha rays and beta rays, neutrons, protons and other fast-moving particles. Alpha and beta rays do not penetrate beyond the human skin and therefore would not affect internal body cells. The gamma and X-rays collide with the molecules of the cells at high speed and eject electrons from the outer shell of atoms. These radiations produce breaks in the chromosomes and chromatids and abnormal mitosis in the irradiate cells. These changes result in the formation of abnormal chromosome and abnormal chromosomes number in the daughter cells, causing abnormal functioning of the cell death. Often various, especially blood cancer or leukemia, are caused by radiations. Now come to effect of non-ionizing radiations. The non-ionizing radiations like ultraviolet light rays have longer wavelengths and carry much lower energy. Therefore, their penetration power is much less than X-rays. In human beings, the ultraviolet rays are often absorbed in the skin and gonads remain unaffected. However, these can work on smaller objects like microorganisms, pollens of plants, or gametes of animals. Now come to chemical mutagens. Let's know about chemical mutagens. The list of chemical mutagens becomes longer with every passing year. However, the most powerful chemical mutations are: first is mustard gas and its related compounds. Second is ethyl urethane. Third is formaldehyde mutagenic in Drosophila. Fourth is organic peroxides mutagenic for fungus. Fifth is ferrous and manganese salts highly mutagenic. And sixth is LSD, that is lysergic and acid dimethylamide. When ingested in moderate doses does not damage chromosome, but large doses are considered to be carcinogenic and teratogenic. The sleeping pills made of thalidomide when taken by pregnant mothers results in the birth of deformed newborns with no arms or with flippers. Increased due to drugs, pesticides and chemical preservatives and coloring agents added to the foods are a threat to human populations as their mutagenic nature cannot be ruled out. Now come to chromosomal mutations or chromosomal aberrations. The chromosomal mutations are the visible changes in the structure or chromosomes involving changes either in the total number of genes or gene loci in a chromosome or their rearrangement. These are known as chromosomal rearrangements or chromosomal aberrations. These arise from breaks in chromosomes and may be of four different types. One is charges involving the number of genes loci, that is deficiency or deletion. Second is duplication. Next is changes involving the arrangement of gene loci, that is translocation and inversion. Four types. First is deficiency or deletion. Second is duplication. Third is translocation. Fourth is inversion. Now let's know about deficiency or deletion. The deficiency is the deletion of a chromosomal segment resulting in the loss of genes. Depending upon the length of the lost segment, the genes lost may vary from the single genes to a block containing several genes. Nature. The break in the chromosome may be caused by several agents such as chemicals, drugs and radiations. Now come to types of deletion. Deletion can be of two types. One is terminal deletion. Second is intercalary or interstitial deletion. Terminal deletion. Let's know about terminal deletion. It refers to the loss of a segment from one or other end of the chromosome. The terminal acentric part of chromosome is unable to survive and causes terminal deletion. Terminal deletion is therefore caused by a single break in the chromosome. Now come to intercalary or interstitial deletion. It involves the loss of an intercalary segment of the chromosome with the reunion of terminal segments. Therefore, the intercalary deletion is caused by two breaks and reunion of terminal parts. Although deficiency and deletion are synonymous, but distinction is often made. The loss of terminal segment of chromosome is often described as deficiency, whereas the loss in intermediary position of chromosome is designated by deletion. Now come to occurrence of deficiencies. Deficiencies have been observed in both animals and plants. In addition to Drosophila, a number of deficiency characters are found in man, such as cry, do, chat or Cat-Cry syndrome, caused by deletion in short arm of chromosome B. The deletion caused in the long arm of 22 chromosome, that is Philadelphia chromosome. In plants, deficiency are not easily transmitted to the offsprings because pollens with deficiency chromosomes are found to be sterile. Now come to spontaneous and induced deletions. The deletions usually occur spontaneously, but these can be induced by radiation. X-rays and ultraviolet radiations, etc. readily induce deletion in the chromosomes. Now come to significance of deletion. Since deficiencies involve loss of genetic material, these have some deleterious effect on the organism and is dependent upon the amount and quality of genetic material lost. A deletion might be small enough not to cause any detectable morphological change either in the chromosome or in the organism, but the deletion of large size are usually detrimental to the organisms. Deletion heterozygotes having small deletions are most probably viable but abnormal. However, homozygosity for a deletion, irrespective of the size, is likely to be lethal. Now come to duplication. The presence of small block of genes more than once in a haploid complement is known as duplication, and the additional block of genes is called a repeat. The deleted portion from one chromosome might get attached to other chromosome of the pair or may exist as an acentric fragment of the chromosome in the nucleus, thereby adding to the normal chromosome complement. Now come to types of duplication. Three types of duplications have been reorganized on the basis of attachment of chromosome segment. Now come to origin of duplication. Duplication can arise by any of the two methods. First is by the attachment of a deleted piece from one chromosome to another. Second point is by unequal crossing over in the homologous chromosome. Now come to significance. Duplications are more frequent or less deleterious. These do not lower the viability but do produce abnormality of structure and function. Duplications play a significant role in evolution because duplication increases number of genes in the chromosome complement. These additional genes might get modified by mutations. Under these circumstances, the lethal mutations might get converted either into tolerable or beneficial ones. In addition, the duplications may overcome the effect of deletion, thus reducing their effect to non-lethal. Now come to translocation. Translocation is a kind of chromosomal rearrangement in which a block of genes from one linkage group is transferred to another linkage group. Origin of translocation. Let's know about origin of translocation. Translocation occurs as a result of interchange of chromosome segments in non-homologous chromosomes. The phenomenon or translocation can be explained by supposing that the two chromosomes having gene A, capital B and capital C, capital D exchange segment and produce chromosome AD and CB. Translocation is thus different from the crossing over, which involves interchange between homologous parts of homologous chromosome. Now come to types of translocation. Depending upon which part or parts of non-heterologous chromosome become detached and reunited, the translocation can be of four types. One is simple translocation, second is shift translocation, third is reciprocal translocation, fourth is multiple translocation. First, we should know about simple translocation. In simple translocation, in such cases, a small segment of chromosome is added to the end of other non-homologous chromosome. This type of translocation is very rare in nature and is caused by a single break in one chromosome only. Second is shift location. In shift location, an interstitial segment of one chromosome is broken off and is inserted within the break in another non-homologous chromosome. Thus, it involves three breaks, two in one chromosome and one in non-homologous chromosome. Third point is reciprocal translocation. It is the change of parts between non-homologous chromosome, as for example, exchange of segments between second and third chromosomes of Drosophila is reciprocal translocation. These are most frequent and are produced by single break in each of two non-homologous chromosomes. Reciprocal translocations are of two types. One is homozygous reciprocal, in which both of the homologous chromosomes exchange parts with the two homologous of the another pair. Now come to heterozygous reciprocal. Heterozygous reciprocal, in which one member of each of the two homologous pair exchange part. Next is fourth point, multiple translocation. In multiple translocation, more than two pairs of non-homologous chromosomes exchange parts. This has been studied in Drosophila and Oenothera. Occurrence of translocation. Translocations are of common occurrence and have played an important role in the introduction of genetic polymorphism in the populations and origin of new species. Translocations have been studied in Drosophila, Oenothera and maize. In man, translocation between 15 and 21 chromosomes results in 21 trisomy and cases Down syndrome. Now, let's know about the significance of translocation. Translocation may cause change in the morphology of appearance in chromosomes by centric fusion between two chromocentric chromosome segments. This may lead to the change in the number of chromosomes. Second point is translocations introduce genetic polymorphism in the populations of a species and play a significant role in formation of new varieties and new species. Come to inversion. Sometimes the number of genes in a chromosome is changed by the sequence of genes is altered by the rotation of gene block within a chromosome by 180 degree. If a chromosome having gene alignment A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I breaks at point B and G, the middle segment will be C, D, E, F, G. Undergoes inversion, the gene sequence in the inverted chromosome will be A, B, G, F, E, D, C, H, I. Type of inversion. Let's know about type of inversions. Paracentric inversion. First is paracentric inversion. There are two types of inversion, paracentric and another one is pericentric inversion. First of all, we will know about paracentric inversion. When both the breaks in the chromosome during inversion occur on the same side of the centromere, the inversion is known as paracentric. The inverted segment of chromosome is without centromere. Now come to pericentric inversion. In pericentric inversion, the inverted segment contains the centromere, that is, it involves one break on either side to the centromere. Inversion occurs in a single chromosome is called chromosomal, whereas that occurs in both the members of a homologous pair is called allosomal. Allosomal inversions occurring in the homologous arms of the two chromosomes are called allelobranchial, but those occurs in non-homologous chromosome are called heterosomal. Now let's know about behavior of inverted chromosomes. Even when heterozygous, the inversion has no detectable phenotypic effect, but at the time of gamete formation, the non-pairing is disrupted and abnormal cytological configurations are produced. The paracentric heterozygous inversion with one chiasmata in the region of inversion results in the formation of an acentric chromatid lacking centromere and a dicentric chromatid connecting the two chromosomes. Thus, at the end to meiosis, there are two non-cross-over chromatids, one acentric chromatid and one dicentric chromatid. The acentric and dicentric chromatids are inviable, so only the non-crossover chromatids from the viable products of meiosis is paracentric inversions of heterozygotes. Crossing over in a pericentric heterozygous inversion results in the formation of the chromosomes which have duplications for certain genes and deficiency for others. The gametes receiving chromosomes with deficiency are rarely viable. Therefore, the recombination is lowered down the heterozygous inversion. Let's know about now microbial genetics. The genetic material in bacteria is stored in two structures. One is a single main chromosome carrying a few thousand genes, and second is episomes and plasmids in which 2 to 3 to several hundred genes may reside. The bacterial chromosome exists as highly condensed, negatively supercoiled conformation in vivo. The nuclear regions of bacteria are called nucleoids as they are not enclosed in any nuclear membrane as in eukaryotes. There are three kinds of process that mediate transfer of genetic material from one bacterium to another, making possible the recombination of genetic material. These three processes are transformation, transduction, conjugation. Of these three processes, the first two don't require cell-to-cell contact, while conjugation requires cell-to-cell contact. Let's know about transformation. Transformation is the process of uptake of naked DNA from one bacterium to another bacterium. In 1928, Griffith reported that mixing heat killed virulent pneumococci with live non-virulent bacteria gave rise to virulent organisms which were able to cause septicemia in mice. The subsequent identification by Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy of the transforming principle that a substance from the dead bacteria carried the information to the live non-virulent ones provided evidence that the genetic material is DNA. The uptake of DNA molecules by the recipient bacterium is not a passive process, rather it is an active and energy-consuming competence factor are capable of becoming recipient cells for transformation. The process of transformation can be divided into many stages. First is the double-stranded DNA binds to the competent cell at a receptor site. Second is the DNA enters the cell and strands separate. Third is the one strand of transformation DNA is degraded. The other strand pairs homologously with the host chromosome. Fourth is the transformic DNA is integrated forming a heteroduplex. Fifth is following one round of cell division, a transformed and a non-transformed cell are produced. Let's know about transduction. Transduction is the process in which a bacteriophage, that means virus infecting bacteria, carries a segment of the chromosome from one bacterium to the another, facilitating subsequent recombination. Transduction was discovered by Zinder and Liederberg in 1952 on Salmonella typhimurium. Bacteriophages are of two types based on their interaction with the bacterial cell. The virulent phage, which always multiply and lyse the host cell after infection, and the temperate phases may take either of two paths, that is lytic cycle during which they lyse the host cell like virulent phases, or lysogenic cycle during which their chromosomes are integrated into the chromosomes of the host and replicate like any other segment of the host chromosomes. Now let's know about generalized transduction. It is characterized by the random nature of DNA fragments and genes transduced. Each fragment of the bacterial chromosomes has a finite but small change of being packaged in the bacteriophage head. When this happens, they inject bacterial DNA from one bacterium to another and not the viral DNA. This bacterial DNA can either remain in the cytoplasm or recombines with the homologous region in the cytoplasm or recombines with the homologous region of the host chromosome. The generalized transduction is said to be complete when the transduced DNA get integrated with the bacterial chromosome and also replicated and passed on to all daughter cells. Generalized transduction is mediated by some virulent bacteriophage and by certain temperate bacteriophage whose chromosomes are not integrated at specific attachment sites on the host chromosome. Now let's know about conjugation. Conjugation was discovered by Liederberg and Tatum in 1946. During conjugation, the cell-to-cell contact is necessary and DNA is transferred from donor cell to the recipient cell through a conjugation tube that forms between them. The transfer of genetic information in conjugation is a way transfer. The donor cells have a capability to synthesize specialized surface appendages called F. pili, and the synthesis of which is controlled by a small circular molecule of DNA called a F factor, means fertility factor. The F factor can exist in two forms, either independent of host chromosome or in the integrated state. The F factor belongs to a class of genetic elements called episomes. There are three kinds of strains in E. coli based presence of F factor. F strains. F strains which do not contain the F factor and cannot transfer DNA by conjugation. They are however recipients of DNA transferred F plus or HFR cells by conjugation. F plus cells which contain the F factor in the cytoplasm and can therefore transfer F in a highly efficient manner to F cells during conjugation. HFR, that means high frequency recombination cells, have F integrated into the bacterial chromosome, not in the cytoplasm. The transfer of F factor from an F plus or HFR cells to the F minus cells takes place in 90 to 100 minutes. Let's know about sex duction. The integration of F factor into the chromosome in HFR strains is not stable and they are known to revert back to free state. While doing so, the F factor sometimes carry fragments of chromosomal genes along with it. Such an F factor that incorporates some chromosomal genes is called F prime factor. When such an F cell mates with F recipient cell, it not only transfers the factor but also the host genes that it carried with it. This process of transfer of chromosomal genes along with F factor is known as sex duction or F duction. Since F factors do not require packaging in a phase head as required in specialized transduction, the size of the segment of the bacterial chromosome carried by F is not restricted. The size of F factors range from carrying a single bacterial marker to those carrying up to half of the chromosomes. Significance among the gram-negative bacteria, this is the major way that bacterial genes are transferred. Transfer can occur between different species of bacteria. Transfer of multiple antibiotic resistance by conjugation has become a major problem in the treatment of certain bacterial diseases since the recipient cell becomes a donor after transfer of a plasmid. An antibiotic resistant gene carried on a plasmid can quickly convert a sensitive population of cells to a resistant one. Now come to fine structure genetics. Fine structure genetics encompasses a set of tools used to examine not just the mutations within an entire genome but can be isolated to either specific pathways or regions of the genome. Ultimately, this more focused lens can lead to a more nuanced and interactive view of the function of a gene. Now come to regional mutagenesis. Similar to forward genetics, regional mutagenesis seeks to saturate with insertion or point mutations, but instead of for the entire genome, it saturates only a small portion of the genome. By limiting the region in focus, researchers are then able to intensify the number of mutations within any genes or promoters within that region, often illuminating more complicated functions than could be identified with a broader focus. Furthermore, such mutations can show how the specific structure of that region of a chromosome affect expression levels and function. Such mutations are introduced in the same means as forward genetics, often through chemical induction or transposable element insertion. The creation of specific balancer chromosomes that are restrictive to only a small region of the genome can guarantee that mutations will only be isolated and reproduced only in the region. Thank you.